Pi Network was supposed to be the revolution of decentralized finance. But now, millions of pioneers are frustrated, disappointed, and losing faith. The delays, the lack of real utility, and the broken promises, it's all piling up. Is Pi Network on the brink of collapse, or can it still rise to become the BlackRock of Web3? Let's dive in. Hey pioneers! Welcome back to the channel. If you've been mining Pi for years, hoping for real-world value, then you're probably feeling the same frustration as many in the community. Today, we're going to break down the core issues holding Pi Network back, what the team must do to fix them, and whether there's still hope for Pi's future. Stay till the end because I'll also reveal the one move that could change everything. In our last video, we received some powerful comments from you, our subscribers, expressing deep concerns about the future of Pi Network. Let's take a look at what you had to say and use these insights to uncover what's really going on. One frustrated subscriber recently shared their thoughts. We've mined for years, but Pi is worth less than $1. This is a commercial project, not a research experiment, and they're not alone. Millions of pioneers joined Pi Network with the expectation of financial rewards, not an indefinite waiting game filled with delays and uncertainties. Many believe that their years of mining would eventually translate into real monetary value, yet the prolonged closed mainnet and lack of exchange listings have left them questioning whether their patience will ever pay off. On the other hand, the Pi core team continues to emphasize that Pi is more than just a cryptocurrency. It's a long-term research project focused on creating a fully decentralized, utility-driven ecosystem. However, this perspective clashes with the expectations of pioneers who see their efforts as an investment, not an academic experiment. If this disconnect isn't addressed soon, frustration could escalate into a massive sell-off once Pi becomes tradable. Instead of a thriving network, Pi could face a collapse in value, as disillusioned pioneers rush to cash out. The question remains: can the core team bridge this gap before it's too late? One concerned pioneer put it bluntly: Pi Network really needs to make a lot of apps that are actually comparable to things like Reddit, YouTube, e-commerce stores, and electronic markets. If they don't, Pi will never have true value, and that's a critical point. No cryptocurrency can thrive without real-world use cases, and right now, Pi Network lacks the kind of ecosystem that makes digital assets valuable. Pioneers need more than just a number on a screen. They need tangible ways to spend, trade, and utilize their Pi in daily life. Imagine a Pi-powered social media platform like Reddit, where content creators are rewarded in Pi for engagement. Or an e-commerce marketplace similar to Amazon, where users can buy and sell products using Pi instead of traditional currency. A video sharing platform like YouTube, where advertisers and creators transact in Pi, could also drive massive adoption. These are the types of applications that would give Pi real economic power and transform it from a speculative asset into a functioning digital economy. However, without a robust ecosystem of useful applications, Pi risks becoming another dormant project, mined but never meaningfully used. The core team must take bold steps to encourage and accelerate app development within the Pi network. Otherwise, pioneers may lose faith, and Pi's potential could fade into irrelevance. One frustrated viewer didn't hold back. They should use some of the Pi they sold to hire real developers because this is going too slow, and they're not wrong. The pace of development has been a major concern for many pioneers. While the Pi core team emphasizes decentralization and community-driven growth, the reality is that high-quality apps require skilled developers, serious funding, and a clear roadmap. If Pi Network truly wants to succeed, it must shift from experimental phases to full-scale execution. This means investing in top-tier developers, securing partnerships with established tech firms, and delivering AAA-level applications that can compete with mainstream platforms. Decentralized apps, DApps, are great, but without a strong foundation and user-friendly experience, they won't attract the mass adoption needed to sustain Pi's economy. The longer Pi Network delays serious development, the greater the risk of losing its early momentum. Pioneers are growing impatient, and without visible progress, many may abandon the project altogether. To prevent this, the core team must take decisive action, funding, hiring, and fast-tracking the creation of essential applications. Otherwise, Pi could remain an unfinished dream rather than the revolutionary digital economy it aspires to be. Pi Network once had the potential to revolutionize decentralized digital currency, but serious missteps by the core team threatened to derail everything. The three biggest issues? Poor communication, endless delays, and a flawed token model. One subscriber who is a pioneer summed it up: if Pi keeps delaying, pioneers will make it worthless by dumping it as soon as they can. And they're right. This is a very real risk. Many pioneers have spent years mining Pi, believing that their patience would be rewarded with real financial value. But with every delay, trust erodes. Without clear updates, a transparent roadmap, or meaningful progress toward open mainnet, faith in Pi's long-term viability continues to dwindle. Another major concern is the broken token model. Right now, pioneers have accumulated large amounts of Pi, but with no way to cash out, they feel trapped in an economy that doesn't yet exist. The longer the wait, the more likely it is that a mass sell-off will occur the moment Pi becomes tradable, potentially crashing the price before it even has a chance to stabilize. If Pi Network wants to avoid disaster, the core team must act now. They need to provide frequent and honest communication about what's really happening behind the scenes, offer real-world use cases to keep Pi valuable, and implement a strategy to prevent a market collapse once trading begins. Most importantly, they must stop treating pioneers like test subjects and start treating them like true stakeholders in the network's success. If they fail to do so, Pi may never become more than an unfulfilled promise. How Pi can still succeed? So, can Pi Network still turn things around? Absolutely, but only if they make bold, strategic moves right now. The clock is ticking, and pioneers are growing restless. If the core team wants to secure Pi's future and keep its community engaged, here's what needs to happen. Stop mobile mining and introduce a steady supply model. The current mobile mining system has been central to Pi's growth, but it's also one of the reasons the token's value is stagnant. By continuing to allow mining without any concrete real-world utility, Pi is flooding the market with an unsustainable amount of tokens. To create genuine value, Pi needs to switch to a more balanced, steady supply model that ensures scarcity and demand. This means transitioning to a model that controls the release of tokens, creating a sense of scarcity and, in turn, giving the Pi network real economic value. Launch polished, high-utility apps. A cryptocurrency is only as valuable as the ecosystem that supports it, and Pi Network needs high-utility apps that make Pi a must-use currency in everyday transactions. The core team should prioritize building platforms that are comparable to major apps like Reddit, YouTube, or Amazon, places where users can spend Pi in exchange for goods and services. Without real-world applications, Pi is nothing more than a speculative token, and its value will continue to dwindle. If Pi becomes an ecosystem with strong, usable apps, it could drive adoption and set itself apart from other coins. Be transparent with the community and give real updates. Transparency has been one of Pi's biggest shortcomings. Too often, pioneers are left in the dark with little to no communication about the platform's progress. To regain trust, Pi needs to be open, honest, and timely with its community. No more vague promises. Pioneers want real updates on the state of development, the reasons for delays, and the team's next steps. Regular, clear communication will rebuild trust and help prevent frustrations from turning into full-blown skepticism. Get major exchange listings. One of the biggest obstacles to Pi's success is its lack of liquidity. Pi Network is currently not listed on any major exchanges, which prevents its true value from being realized. To legitimize Pi in the global market and offer pioneers the ability to trade Pi on reputable platforms, the core team must secure listings on major exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, and others. Once Pi is freely traded, it can begin to attract real investors, and its market cap can increase. This is a critical step in transforming Pi from an obscure digital asset into a globally recognized cryptocurrency. Pi Network can absolutely still succeed, but it needs to take action now. If the core team listens to its community, makes strategic changes, and works on creating value for Pi holders, there's still hope. The potential is there, but the window for success is closing quickly. Only bold, swift moves will turn things around. What do you think? Is Pi still worth it, or is it too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get this conversation going. If you found this video insightful, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next deep dive into Pi Network's future. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.